Hola, culés. I'm back, and so is Ter Stegen. And I know very many people that are not at all excited about it. And it turns out there's a bunch of drama around it, too. So we're going to get into all of it today. Main point, though, that we know that is coming is that he's coming back from injury, right? We've known this was coming for a while, and I think a lot of people have been not exactly the happiest about it for maybe good reason, for maybe less reasonable reasons, but a lot of people are unsure of where he's going to fit. They're worried that he might steal the spot of Chesney. I'm seeing a lot of people saying that what happens with the goalkeeper will also affect the way they look at Hansi Flick altogether because, they'll lose some respect for him or they'll like him less if they let Ter Stegen step right back in to that number one spot, especially because the Pole is playing incredibly well. He's so good at keeping the ball out of the net. He's probably better than Ter Stegen has ever been. I could go so far as to say that and feel kind of comfortable in that statement. He has been that good. His stats say it too. He's been saving something like 83 to 84% of all the shots that he's faced. That's substantial, especially when a lot of the shots he's facing are very high quality chances, in my opinion, right? They're on the counterattack. They are 1v1 on goal. Situations like that where goalkeepers are not very likely to have much of a chance. Chesney is stepping up in an incredible way, and a lot of people are worried Ter Stegen might step right into that spot or make it a little bit more chaotic or problematic or what have you. And I understand that point of view. I don't think Ter Stegen is the best shot stopper in the world at all. And I don't know if he ever was. There were some times where he was really good. That's been inconsistent. A lot of people are critical of him. There were tweets last year that said Barcelona will never win a Champions League again under Ter Stegen, even though they won last time they won the Champions League. Ter Stegen was in goal for the Champions League matches, I believe, when he was splitting time with Claudio Bravo. But there's a lot going on. He's coming back from injury now, and also he just got divorced, or he announced his separation with his wife, and apparently there was a Catalan radio that discussed it, and they said that his wife cheated on him or something, and it turns out that now Ter Stegen is hitting back at them, saying that he did or she didn't cheat on him. Apparently, they were saying that she cheated on him with her trainer, but he says that's completely false. He's disappointed with the lack of management, distributing fake news, no third person is involved, not been any infidelity of Daniela. And honestly, I saw a lot of crap going toward him in the first place for just about this idea that, why make it public if you don't want to talk about it at all, right? And I understand that a lot. But also, honestly, yeah, I think he's in the public eye. It's just not something you reasonably cover, right? Say we're separating, moving on. I don't want to talk about it too much. Obviously they talked about it. They talked about it so much to make up false stuff, allegedly. And so much so that, yeah, he came out then slamming them for doing that, which I respect him a lot. He's standing up for his now ex-wife, and I think that's very respectable. But it doesn't really matter because it's just adding on to the drama of where he fits in the team, right? And I feel for him, this is an unfortunate situation. I'm sure he's going through a lot trying to recover. Seeing the team succeed without him might not feel the best, especially when he's been the number one for years. Whatever. Now he's dealing with a lot. The point is, for me, though, is focusing on how this fits in the team and focusing on what public sentiment is about it, because they don't really like it. Nobody likes it, honestly, and nobody really wants him to step back in. And I'm leaning towards agreeing with them. I don't think he necessarily is that needed right now. Honestly, I think he offers a little bit of on-the-ball intelligence. Obviously, he is a captain. He's had some respect issues with the team in the past, not necessarily this team, but obviously he had a lot of issues with Luis Suarez and Messi, allegedly, where they got into a fight. So, I don't know. It's a really weird situation where I don't necessarily know if he deserves the number one ever again, maybe. I don't know. Chesney is playing so well right now that I genuinely do not think anyone, maybe bar Alisson, take his spot right now with how well he is playing, how well he is helping this team. That Benfica match proved to me that he is still just as good as any keeper we've ever had, honestly, at keeping the ball out of the net. I would argue, I would go that far, and we'll see how that plays out for the remainder of the season. We'll see what happens. But as Ter Stegen comes back from this injury that was severe, will Hansi Flick let him back in the team and let him start really taking matches away from Chesney? Because he's completely dropped Iñaki Peña. I think a lot of people questioned that at first, but it's very clear that he wanted someone who was a really good shot stopper, and Iñaki Peña never really was that. He was good at times. He made some good saves, but I think it was unfortunate for him that every single time he made a save, the guy was offside, so it didn't matter anyway. And Szczesny is just very clearly an elite shot stopper, up there with 3 or 4 of the best keepers in the world at doing that still. And I don't know if Hansi Flick wants to risk that, even if Ter Stegen might be a little bit quicker, might be able to come out of his box faster, might be able to link up a little bit better. It's not really worth it to me. I don't see it as necessarily being a perfect fit for this side. And with all this drama going on, it can't really help the mentality for Ter Stegen. It might take him a little bit away from the game, which is maybe a good thing for all those haters that don't want him in the squad, and I don't understand that, right? Because I don't know if it's a good idea to really place him back into this setup right now. And obviously, it's okay to have I think Ter Stegen's probably a better backup than Iñaki Peña. I think that's probably fair to say. So, but it's also wild to say because Ter Stegen has been the number one for years, right? So the fact that maybe moving into the next couple matches, maybe Szczesny gets rested or something. This isn't happening this week or anything like that. I think there's probably about a month before Ter Stegen's really going to be threatening that number one spot, if that happens at all. But I don't really see Hansi using him very much, if at all. That's how good Szczesny has been, and I think Hansi is pragmatic enough to see that it's not worth shoving him in, even if he is the number one, if he is this captain of the team and everything. I don't know. And look, there are very few people in the fan base that like him at all, and I could say that very, very confidently, without worrying about getting a lot of crap from you guys. I think it's pretty fair. I see so much hate about him. I made a video that got 250,000 views at the beginning of the season, saying the most hated man in Barcelona about Ter Stegen, and it was like the correct sentiment. Yes, he has been probably one of the better keepers the team has ever seen. I think he's probably better than Victor Valdez. Net, because Victor Valdez had a similar, he had a lot of problems. There were a lot of flaws in his game as well. He had a mistake in him for sure. Ter Stegen has the same thing, but Szczesny, it feels like he's got that a little bit less, and I don't know if the team can risk that. I don't think Hansi will either. That's going to be my prediction here of what I think will happen. I don't see Ter Stegen stepping in very many games, right? Because the biggest Copa del Rey matches are coming up. The Champions League is only getting harder and harder. La Liga is only getting more and more intense, especially now with the game delayed. RIP to Carlos Mineta Garcia. For those of you guys that didn't see it, this weekend the game against Osasuna was canceled because the team doctor surprisingly passed away right before the match in the hotel that all the team players stay at before a match, and it's terrible. I'm so incredibly sorry to the family, and it's such a difficult time for the team. I'm really interested to see how they bounce back on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm just hoping they're all recovering okay. But I'm sure Ter Stegen was working pretty closely with him because he's literally recovering from injury, and so adding all of that together, it leaves a lot of chaos around him. Plus, I'm seeing so much positivity around Szczesny right now, where players are saying that nothing affects him and he's just sitting, meditating in the dressing room, and people are so confused at why he's doing this because it's so much different, but he's so just at peace, in the zone, playing well, enjoying himself, fitting into this team well in a way that not even I could have predicted it with my video on him a few months ago. It's remarkable what Szczesny's doing. It's a little concerning what Ter Stegen might do because he's just not that loved, because I don't think he is that great at shot stopping, or he's not one of the best in the world. He's been up there, pretty consistent, doing enough, but there are a lot of flaws in his game in a way we're not really seeing that in Szczesny. I feel like goalkeepers are so all over the place, but realistically, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. Let me know what you think. Do you think Szczesny deserves to stay in the spot? I'm leaning that way, but maybe Ter Stegen, he deserves some game time. Let me know what you think, but thank you for watching. Wanted to stop in here and make a video, and I'll see you guys all I guess on Tuesday on Big Up. Link will be in the description for the watch along against Benfica. Big match, and I'll see you guys all there. Peace.